All right, let's just dive right in. Generative AI has absolutely slammed into Bangladesh's advertising scene. And we're not talking about some minor trend here. This is a massive, fundamental shift. Today, we're going to break down exactly what that means, the incredible upside, but also the serious risks that honestly not enough people are talking about.
You know, this AI explosion has brought the entire industry to a crossroads, and it's a place that's frankly equal parts thrilling and absolutely terrifying. It's forcing all of us to ask some really uncomfortable questions.
So think about the last huge ad campaign you saw online. You know, the one with the big celebrity that got millions of views. Now, I want you to ask yourself, are you 100% certain that person was real? Or was it a perfect synthetic copy? Because that's the new reality we're living in.
And this right here perfectly sums up the dilemma that brands in Dhaka are wrestling with. On one hand, you've got this incredible tech that can slash your production time. I mean, wow. But on the other hand, one wrong move, just one ad that feels deceptive, and boom, decades of consumer trust can just vanish. Instantly.
Now, what's so fascinating about this is the huge gap it shows us. While the ad industry is racing to adopt this stuff, just look at how the public feels about deepfakes. That's AI that can realistically copy someone's face or voice. A massive 62% of people see them as dangerous. And that disconnect right there between how fast the industry is moving and how anxious the public feels, that's where the real story is.
So, if everyone's so worried, why is every company jumping on this bandwagon? Well, as it usually goes, you've got to follow the money. Let's look at the numbers, because they explain why this technology is simply impossible for anyone to ignore.
Just look at these projections for Bangladesh specifically. We're expected to go from around $200 million in 2025 to over $1 billion by 2030. That's not just growth, that's a five-fold explosion in 5 years. The scale of this is just staggering. And this number? This is the fuel in that engine, a 41.52% compound annual growth rate. This isn't just a passing trend. This is a force that is completely redefining the market, and it shows the insane momentum building up right here in the country. So, where's all this happening? This table breaks it down pretty clearly. Globally, marketing and advertising are the biggest piece of the pie. And here in Bangladesh, our adoption rate is already sitting at about 15 to 20%. The key takeaway is this: we're leading the charge locally, but there's still this huge runway for growth. And honestly, that means there's a lot of room to get things either very, very right or very, very wrong.
And this is where the conversation gets a little more complicated. Because what happens when technology moves this fast? Well, a lot of the time, things like integrity and ethics get left in the dust. So, it's time we pull back the curtain on the serious risks that pop up when innovation starts to outpace our own rules.
Okay, before we get into the risks, let's just quickly demystify what this stuff even is. This is the simplest, best way to think about generative AI. It's not magic, it's just pattern recognition on steroids. It looks at billions of photos, texts, and videos, learns all the connections, and then uses that to create something totally new. It's not thinking, it's just reconstructing based on everything it's already seen.
And that brings us to the three big, uncomfortable truths that the industry is kind of tiptoeing around right now. First, this idea of authenticity erosion. When anything can be faked, what do we even believe? Second, algorithmic bias, where the AI just learns and spits back our own worst stereotypes, but even louder. And third, a total regulatory vacuum. Here in Bangladesh, it's like the Wild West. There are no specific rules for this stuff.
Okay, so that sounds pretty bad, right? But it's not hopeless. The big question is, how do we actually navigate this brave new world? Well, the good news is there's a clear, actionable way to do this responsibly. Let's walk through the playbook.
Here it is, a 6-step guide for any agency or brand out there. Step 1, it all starts with total transparency. You need clear disclosure standards so your audience always knows when they're looking at AI. Next, you have to proactively audit for bias. And this doesn't have to be some huge, expensive project. It can start with just asking, hey, does this AI output actually reflect the diversity of our customers? Third, setting up human-AI collaboration protocols. The goal should be to help your creative teams, not just replace them. Fourth, rock-solid consent management. You have to have permission before you even think about using someone's likeness. Fifth, building your own authenticity verification to prove your stuff is real. And finally, number 6, having a crisis plan ready to go, for when, not if, something goes sideways.
So, does being ethical actually work in the real world? Oh, absolutely. Just look at Coca-Cola. They were super transparent about using AI tools, and they invited people to create art with them. The result? Insane engagement. 800 million impressions. They made AI a tool for participation, not for deception.
And you can see this working even closer to home. Cadbury India used deepfake technology, but they used it for good. They let thousands of small, local businesses make personalized ads featuring a major movie star, and it was a huge hit because they were completely open about it. The deepfake itself became the story.
But here's the other side of the coin. When this same technology is used without any ethics, without any consent, it gets weaponized. We've all seen the malicious deepfake scams that cause incredible damage to people's reputations. So the point is this: the exact same tech that powered Cadbury's success can be used to destroy someone's life. The only thing that changes is the ethical framework guiding it.
Okay, so we've covered the opportunity, we've covered the risks, and we've walked through the ethical playbook. So what does this all mean for you, right now? Let's break down the immediate, concrete steps for everyone in this industry.
If you're running a brand or an agency, your homework starts today. First, figure out what AI tools your teams are even using. Then, draft a simple, one-page ethics policy that people can actually understand and follow. And please create an internal review board, even if it's just 2 people, to give campaigns a sanity check before they go live. This is not a nice-to-have. This is essential risk management.
For all you marketing professionals out there, it's time to upskill. Seriously. Learn how to talk to AI with good prompt engineering. Train your eye to spot cultural bias in what the AI kicks out. And maybe most important of all, get comfortable asking your bosses the tough questions about ethics and policy. It's your reputation on the line too. And hey, if you're just starting out, you have a golden opportunity here. Don't just learn how to use the tools. Build a portfolio that proves you get the ethical side of things. You want to position yourself as not just AI fluent, but ethically aware. That combination is incredibly rare, and it's exactly what this industry desperately needs right now.
At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this. It's so easy to get wowed by the technology, or to blame the tech when things go wrong. But the tools themselves, they're neutral. A hammer doesn't decide what to build. We do. Our choices, our ethics, our standards, that's what will decide where all this goes.
So let's just end with the only question that really matters. The transformation isn't coming. It's already here. It's happening as we speak. So the real question is about the path we're going to choose. Are we going to chase short-term wins and risk long-term trust? Or are we going to build an industry that's not only innovative and effective, but also ethical? That answer? Well, it's still being written by all of us.